Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, especially to the types of government series. In this video, we will going to discuss the features of parliamentary system of government. If you haven't seen my previous videos, please watch it and come back to here. Okay, let me start with a question. What is parliamentary form of government? Parliamentary system or parliamentary form of government is a system of government where the executive members are the members of legislature as well. That the executive members will have dual membership, one at the legislature and another one at the executive. In parliamentary form of government, the separation of power between legislature and executive is not clear as in the presidential form of government. Still, there also we can find the checks and balances principle available in parliamentary form of government also. And the parliamentary form of government will have two executive. One is the head of the state and another one is the head of the government. Head of the state in case of UK it is queen, and in case of India it is the president. And head of the government in UK it is prime minister, and India it also the prime minister. Talking about the history of a parliamentary form of government, the parliamentary form of government originated in UK. Till 14th century in UK there was a absolute monarchy which was slowly liberalized due to the popular demand and the protest by the people. Slowly elected representatives started to gain power, ultimately resulting in making the institution of monarchy nominal and elected representatives, that is prime minister, as the de facto ruler of the country. Ultimately, this evolution led to the development of modern parliamentary system of government. That's why it is the Parliament of UK is called as the mother of parliaments. And something should be noted here is that when Britishers were ruling the most of the part of the world, they introduced a system which is similar to their system of government to the entire world. After the end of the era of colonization, the former colonies, that is the independent nations of today, established or they adopted same system which the Britishers introduced to their country because of the familiarity with the system that Britishers introduced. In a parliamentary system, a parliament may be either bicameral with two chambers of parliament or with unicameral with just one parliamentary chamber. In case of bicameral parliamentary system, the lower house would be directly elected with the power to control the executive, but upper house may be elected just like India or appointed just like in UK. Now let us discuss the features of parliamentary form of government. The first feature of parliamentary form of government is dual executive. Parliamentary form of government has two executive. One is real executive and another one is nominal executive. For example, in case of UK, the monarch is nominal executive and the prime minister is real executive. And the prime minister is the head of the government and the monarch is head of the state. In case of India, the Prime Minister is the real executive and the President of India is the nominal executive, and President of India is the head of the state and Prime Minister is the head of the government. In parliamentary form of government, the first election to the legislatures are conducted. After the elections over, the legislators will come together and they will select someone as their prime minister. And prime minister will elect his council of ministers among the members of the legislature. After Prime Minister electing the Council of Minister, he or she will provide that list to the monarch in case of UK and President in case of India and other countries. And they will approve it and the Council of Ministers are selected. In this case, the President or the head of the state will have only limited power. They cannot reject the proposal of a Prime Minister. In parliamentary form of government, every minister is individually as well as collectively responsible to the legislature. That is why it is said that they swim together and sing together. Every minister is individually responsible to his ministry. It means that if a ministers are doing wrong thing, they are responsible to the parliament. If he does wrong, he has to resign. And also at the same time, they are collectively responsible to the parliament as well. If the prime minister has to resign, then all the members of the cabinet has to resign. In parliamentary form of government, even the term of the executive is fixed by the constitution. It is not rigid like in the presidential form of government. A prime minister can be changed at any time. If a person loses his majority and another person get that majority, then his seat goes to him. The procedure of removal of the Prime Minister is known as the vote of no confidence, which is very simple when compared to the impeachment of the President. In parliamentary form of government, all ministers work with a team spirit. They must agree on any issues in a cabinet meeting. If there is difference of opinion, the ministers concerned must resign or he is expelled from the cabinet. All differences must be kept in secret. In parliamentary form of government, the two organs of the government, that is legislature and executives, are dependent upon each other. They even interfere with each other's matter. Minister can introduce a bill, he can take part in the legislation, and also he can address the legislature, he can call meetings and even dissolve the lower house of the parliament. On the other hand, the parliament, that is legislature, can ask questions with the executive. They can even remove the executive through the vote of no confidence. Now let us discuss the advantages of the parliamentary form of government. The first advantage of parliamentary form of government is that it ensures continuity in government. In parliamentary form of government, whenever there is change in government, the head of the state does not leave his or her office. Only the head of the government, that is Prime Minister, will leave the office along with his or her council of ministers. The advantage is that there is someone to hold the state together until the new government is formed. It therefore ensures that there is peaceful transfer of power from one person to another or one government to another. One of the features of parliamentary system of government is that the existence of effective opposition, which also official opposition with mandate to check the dictatorial tendencies of the government. And also the presence of dual executive is also added to the score. That means when one executive, that is the Prime Minister, try to convert the country into an authoritarianism, another executive, that is the President or the monarch, will try to hold him back. In parliamentary form of government, since there is the presence of two executive, that is the monarch or queen or the president as the head of the state and the prime minister as the head of the government, makes the burden of execution shared between two. So it reduces the workload on both. It is said that the parliamentary form of government is purely responsible government, because in parliamentary form of government the executives are the members of legislature as well. They are answerable to the legislatures. If the executive is becoming irresponsible and they are not providing answer to the legislature, then the legislature or legislators can remove the executive. In presidential form of government, there is a separate election to the legislature as well as the executive. But when it comes to parliamentary form of government, there is only one election, and that is to the legislature, and legislators will elect their executive or the executives of the country. Since the election is the costly affair, in presidential form of government, conducting election for twice becomes expensive. But in parliamentary form of government, since there is only one election or election for once, it becomes less expensive. In parliamentary form of government, there exist two executive. One is the ceremonial head, who is not a partisan and who is non-political person, often a person of great wisdom and respected by all. And another executive, that is prime minister, used to be a political entity or a political person. As a result of that, sometimes people may hate him. Even when the people hate the prime minister, their loyalty will be on president, who is a allied person. As a result of that, we can say that in parliamentary form of government, in any condition, people's loyalty will be on state. Now let us discuss the disadvantages of the parliamentary form of government. The first disadvantage of the parliamentary form of government is the continuous struggle for power. The parliamentary form of government or parliamentary system is well known for unhealthy rivalry between the ruling party and the opposition party. The opposition is officially recognized and seen as the government in waiting. Sometimes it has been said that their destructive criticisms delays the progress of the nation. As we know, in parliamentary form of government, there exist two executive. One is the real executive, that is prime minister, and another one is nominal executive, that is monarch or the president in some countries. Both executives are provided with lot of facilities. That's why critics says that it results in the waste of national resources. Another disadvantage of parliamentary form of government is that it violates the principle of separation of power. The separation of power principle is a principle which upholds that three organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary, must be a separate units to maintain the democracy or to prevent the authoritarian tendencies of the ruler. But parliamentary form of government do not have clear cut separation of power. In parliamentary form of government, the presence of dual executive can be a source of conflict. This will happen when the two executives, that is president and also the prime minister, disagree with some policies and programs. The best example is the conflict between the prime minister Patrick Lumumba and Joseph Kusubu in former Congo. It is believed that this was led to the assassination of Patrick Lumumba. Sorry for the pronunciation mistake. And another disadvantage of the parliamentary form of government is that in parliamentary system there is a strict adherence to party discipline. For this reason, the member of the parliament cannot, for example, vote against his or her party's policy. In countries like India, a party can issue whip to vote on particular subject. If party members vote against the party whip, he will lose his membership in the legislature. In parliamentary form of government, the prime minister is prime minister until he or she has the confidence of the legislature. If the members change their alliance, then the entire council of ministers has to resign, and a person who has the support will get the prime minister's seat. And another factor is that in parliamentary form of government, the executive do not have any fixed term. So there is chance of instability in government. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to add anything to it, please write it down in the comment section below. I will write it down in my description. Thank you so much.